slightly greedier iG.Vitality draft to a win, which would bring us to a game 3, which I know you would be happy about.
I would like a game 3. Yes, I would.
Look at this full wraparound as well.
Even besides a game 3, I would like a close game.
True.
So we get one.
Not a 25-minute GG. Is that what you're saying?
No. I feel like we've gotten a lot of those currently so far in the.
We've had 3 today. Let's be real.
Yeah. And we kind of had 3 yesterday too.
Mm-hmm. And then I had the one that I cast with Peacock as well.
Yeah, I saw that game. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm liking that trail that the Faceless Void Mace is leaving as he does we're past a 360 now. 1080. Keep going. Oh, he's going back the other way to stop himself being dizzy.
The battle begins.
All right, let us see what we have in store for us for our second game. No crazy shenanigans to start. It's just going to be a trade with the bounties, 2 for 2. We did see that previously mid lane was much more favored for Butterfly Effect. Definitely do not think it's going to be the case this game as a whole. Both should be able to find their farm. See what they're going to be able to do as a result of that. I think the supports were a really pivotal reason why Aster.Aries were able to have a lot of success in that last game. So again, they're both going to be relying on a lot of levels. We'll have to kind of keep tabs on if they're able to get a lane to be able to farm for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Also just keeping track of, I mean, like every single flat cannon, they're always just going to be pressured out by Ulu here. Missed one last hit, but won't miss more than that. And the thing is, like, you're going this tag team early on to be able to obviously just get that passive aura slow. I wonder if it's just going to be level 1 that he puts it into, because it really is important that you're enabling this Razor off the back of the Snowball and the Ice Shards. I'm really expected to see a 1-1-1 come out from Fish King. Even just the damage output is going to be amped up eventually as well once you get into the level 6 on the Razor.
Yeah.
Some armor reduction, going to buff up the tag team.
The Fire Spirits does feel kind of annoying in this bottom lane, right? For Fish King.
Oh yeah,
just because
Again, it's that roller coaster, right? It's going to go back and forth the other way. Tusk has slightly lower cooldowns to be able to play around with, so he can look to be getting up in his face. You can see he's down for a brawl. Got the Ring of Protection, got a Blood Grenade, got a Fairy Fire. He's just constantly going to be looking at fairy tangos through to himself and Razor as well. Mid lane, there's a lot of action going on as well. XWY and Butterfly Effect both playing on the edge. Not too much matter to be able to play around with here on Butterfly, but he's got the bottle.
It was looking like a pretty good start, even though, I mean, the CS is favoring the Ember at the moment. Butterfly Effect was putting a lot of pressure on, but should be offset now with the water runes for them to work with. So, and of course, meanwhile, our last lane up top, like we were saying, I mean, the Faceless Void is a really nice pick to be able to play into the Darks here with the time dilation, but we've might be able to get aggressive pretty surely. I think maybe next level potentially for Ponyo and Ukyo. There might be some kill threat, but really impressed with what Aster.Aries are doing. They're just dragging the wave and making sure they kind of play off the usual mark in this off lane.
Slightly off the mark there as well, though. But I mean, it goes either way, right? Even just Grimstroke against the Darkseer, it can feel all right. You know, you want to make sure you're getting that big stroke of fate onto whichever creep is ion shelled. Means you're able to clear it out easier. Means that the Darkseer's farm is going to suffer as a result. Of course, double melee into a Faceless Void with double ion shells always feels good, especially if he's going to try and go a bit greedier. Time Warp still quite a long cooldown at level 1.
Overall, I've got to say, probably everyone's pretty happy with the start that they've gotten so far inside this game. I mean, maybe, I was going to say maybe Dark would like a little bit. Yeah. But you think Razor should have a little bit more CS than what
tiny
currently
bit
does?
more, I think.
Okay.
You know, just because you are being enabled by a hero like the Tusk that does allow you to potentially get a bit more active, right? The Ice Shard's just a 23-second cooldown versus the Icarus Dive, which has a 36. So, you know, there is that 13-second window where you can look to potentially make a play happen. Hasn't happened just yet. We've got boots coming out, though, for the Razor soon, I believe. So maybe they are looking to make a sort of play once he's picked that up.
No, it's going to be a first blood, whether it was on the Lesh or the Tusk. No way someone else. So no way none of them were not going to end up going down, especially with the build from XWY going for a 2-3 build. No points up in the Flame Guard. Was able to get that Water Rune as well off the back of the kill. So he's off to a good start. He's going to be going down that Orbit Corrosion. What do you kind of make of the 2 points in the chains? I know we see sometimes with like a Mirana in your team, you'll even put like 1 point, maybe a second point in the chains, but no points Flame Guard this game. What do we think is the reasoning behind it?
He's helping his brother out, you know. His name is Inai, the Ember Spirit. I might be wrong though, but Earth Spirit, Cowlin, I mentioned how important it is for Mercy to make sure he's landing a lot of those rolling boulders, and you know, a couple of extra points in the Searing Chains helps him out with that.
Are we then looking of a rotation pretty shortly from Mercy to play mid?
I would imagine so. I mean, they've got a lane in a pretty decent spot right now for Darkseer to be able to pick up farm fairly safely. He's already got the Ring of Health, so he's not in too much danger. And you've also got the 6-minute mark coming up in 50 seconds. So really wouldn't surprise me to see Mercy make that sort of move happen, especially with how low Butterfly Effect is right now. One thing holding them back, though, is XWY not having a lot of mana, though.
I was going to say, how close is he to 6 to maybe make a trip back to base and freshen up? He's going to be in a lot of danger. Nice attempt with the snipe, but it's going to be off the mark thanks to the reuse of that Split Earth Butterfly Effect. Kill goes to the creeps, unfortunately. Still, the gold's going to be split nonetheless. A much needed kill as well.
I mean, the important thing is as well is I feel like the Grimstroke can just look to hang around here. Might be able to get a stack off if he really wanted to on that hard camp, but going to be on dewarding duty instead. And then, yeah, just look to secure one of those power runes. Mercy's doing it for the top side, but it's just going to be a little bit too late of a movement to be able to help out his brother.
He might even get the kill into Red Panda. Both supports looking to act as a blockade for the Phoenix to potentially move on over down to secure with the power rune. It will spawn up top. Of course, they're going to get the kill and the bounty along with that. Nonetheless, XWY has a haste rune now to work with.
I mean, that's the sort of thing where it's just a little bit of luck coming into the equation, right? You get a Phoenix kill, but at what cost? It means that the Leshrac needs to go all the way back to base. It means that I wouldn't be surprised if they started to fortify just before this creep wave even gets under the tower. But it looks like Lesh will be able to get back in time to be able to avoid too much damage. It's a deep dive,
Very good roll. Let's see if they're going to be able to punish this. Even Tusk is looking to try and TP in. And they will do so. Ponyo might go down off the back of the haste. Simultaneously, there's a snowball trying to catch Red Panda, but he's able to get the dive away. So, haste used and unable to get the kill into the Grimstroke.
And with that, Pulse Nova picked up, going to be able to deal with the siege creep as well. So not a lot of damage done into the tower. I'll be able to just get away. Mr. Maroon being scanned right now, and Ponyo, he is making a beeline for it, making sure that he's able to yoink that one away. Going to walk into the creep wave, but he's got the TP available. He doesn't care. This is just playing the long game.
Oh, no. All right, he's probably going to get the kill. Okay, I thought XWY was going to TP in and not even get the kill into Ponyo, but...
He's got to make sure that he's holding onto that chains, though.
I see a Chronosphere up to the north. They're going to be able to get the kill onto Shangsu, so all right, beautifully done. Just recognizing the Darkseer was left alone, and simultaneously Ponyo was still able to TP out. Nothing the Ember was able to do. Bottom lane now, Ulu's getting dived as well. Janyu, with the help of Fishkin's, able to secure the kill, so... Couple of good sequence of events. Tusk will still go down. Phoenix going to TP in just the nick of time to be able to take some of the experience. Is he going to have the damage to the Razor, though? 3 points Fire Spirit along with the Blood Grenade. Red Panda is going to be forced to dive away under the threat of the Eye of the Storm to secure the kill.
I was thinking maybe he might still consider it. Got to be careful with that Gyro Courier as well. Just gets sniped by the creep wave. But yeah, I mean, that's really the sort of play that I was expecting to happen a little bit sooner in the lane, right? That's why I thought the Razor might be a bit dissatisfied with how the start of the game had gone. He's still sitting about 900 gold behind Ulu right now, but I'm really expecting to see him and Fish King make a lot of rotations through to be able to land kills like that back to back to back.
Okay, Red Panda. Never mind, just going to farm up a little bit of the jungle. So even game currently, even though the kills are kind of favoring iG.Vitality at the moment, what are we expecting to Do you feel like lanes are going to continue to dissolve, or do we need to wait to this next power and then there might be some plays on the side lane? As soon as I say that, though, Aries looks to go for a double smoke.
I mean, they know there's no chronosphere, right? That's the big thing. You always want to be worried about that turnaround potential to come through. They are still lacking in that ability that's going to keep them locked in place to get benefit out of the Leshrac damage, out of the static link, and nice little dodge there by Ukyo being able to move down towards the bottom side. I'll take the tower with the rest of the boys so that now you actually have people right there to be able to help. They don't need to wait for any sort of TP timings to come through from the team.
If they're going to be able to defend this, Mercy will TP down. Still don't have the level 6 on the Phoenix. He's going to come through the portal. Tower is falling pretty fast. Someone's going to need to react. Mercy wants to start into Ponyo. Going to try and take the Grimstroke out. It's a decent chunk of damage onto Zhang Yu as well. We'll take the Razor out of the equation now. With the wall getting used too, this is going to be all favoring Aster.Aries. They bring every single member, all the resources used to be able to defend the tower. It still does go down nonetheless. Even XWY's got a triple commit with the Remnant. Doesn't have enough mana for the chains. Will be back up thanks to the one usage. Even as Ulu looking for the backstab as well with the core down placed. Butterfly effect tries to turn and get the kill, but the Supernova is going to stop him short. So in the end, 4 kills will go the way of Aster.Aries. Relentless pressure for them to deal with the Disco Pony.
I have to wonder if, like, this is iG.Vitality's time to be able to make something happen. Probably around that mid lane, right? Because it's unfortunate that you lose 3 heroes down bottom. You end up getting 1, I believe. But you get the tower. That's the important thing. And you really just need to make sure that you're preventing Ulu from having this space to just sit back and farm on the bottom side. Now he's forced to take some of these camps. And you got to try and punish this as much as possible. Like, you don't have the Supernova, you don't have the wall, you don't have the call down, and Earth Spirit is nowhere close to his magnetize as well. So now's the time for you to be playing aggressively.
And they're going to do just that. What a great read for them. Over to Ulu's triangle. Should be able to get the kill before the reinforcements show up. And they're not even going to try and make the attempt as well. So we'll slow down that Gyrocopter's farming progression.
It will, but Ulu did the right thing in immediately taking that sort of stuff. He realized that they weren't strong enough to be able to fight right then, and if they were able to make that rotation even just 10 seconds earlier, they couldn't because they were respawning. But if they were, they would have not only got that gyro kill, but they also would have gotten a tower. I think they need to back off for now, but every second that just ticks by, I mean, Wall of Replicas back up, cooldown's up in 5 seconds, Supernova's up in 30, and Red Panda, he's level 7, so he's got that Fire Spirit's maxed out now. Lots of damage for them to have to contend with. Just giving Mercy a little bit of that farm, wanting to make sure he's got his level 6 available.
Do you feel like there's much of an item build change when you're playing an offlane Razor compared to like a mid or a 1 Razor?
Not particularly. I mean, maybe you just want to stay in lanes a little bit further and like force attention towards you.
Are they going to get this kill? XWY should be able to be okay, I believe. Leash will now be out. They're still going to actually try and turn. Mercy's going to be on the mark with the kick onto Ponyo. And XWY is still sticking around to try and output some of the spellers. They're going to be cautious though of the bubble. And they'll pay accordingly.
It went over from the Grim onto the Faceless Void at the end of it all. So he ends up getting stunned up by Old Mate Buster. Our favorite cosmetic.
Yes, yes. I only asked that because I think it does look like Zhang Yu on the Razor's going for kind of the stock standard 1 Razor that we've seen. Mask of Madness, BKB. See what's going to be the other decision for him afterwards.
I think you've just got a lot to be able to enable you, right? So I think this is the sort of game where, kind of similar to what we see from, let's just say Amar, right? Like they play pretty heavily around him in whatever team he's on. You've got a Tusk to enable you, both with the tag team to be able to buff up your right clicks, as well as Snowball and Ice Shards to enable that static link to always be effective. Same sort of thing with a Chronosphere, right? You've got a scaling Faceless Void, sure, but look at this. This will be a huge Chrono.
Roll in, but they're going to be setting up for the Chronosphere as Ukyo connects onto 3. Darksea ran in, but he got the pipe. As long as they get the health mitigation, they're going to be able to turn it back around. As with the Wall of Replicas going to tear them apart with all the illusions as well. I mean, they tried to commit on Zhang Yu, running to the opposite side of the river, but now he has buried himself his own grave, and they're going to fight the 5-man wipe in the end. Red Panda, I mean, we're saying his praises a lot in game one. He's 4-1-4, gets the triple kill as well on the Phoenix, so he's off to another incredible start.
Nearly able to land that Chronosphere onto the third. The Darkseer ends up walking into it, but like you said, they just survived for long enough with that extra pipe usage, even just the passive AoE coming through, as you see a bit of a replay come through here. Good positioning coming through, but they were just able to land absolutely everything that they wanted, and then the follow-up damage coming through. Great vacuum back into the wall, allowing Red Panda's Sunray to just absolutely tear a hole through them.
This is scary if you're already seeing the teamfight prowess that Aster.Aries has. It's only going to get more difficult as this game goes on, and especially with some of the auras that are continuing to be worked on from Shangzhou as well. So we just mentioned the pipe is even going to be going to a Crimson Guard too. So, well, like, what are you considering next here for the Darkseer? We're looking, I don't know if like a late game Greaves, like third item Greaves has too much value. You're looking at like a Shivas, a Hex. Like, what is kind of the progression that we can expect out of him this game?
I wouldn't hate the Greaves just to be able to get rid of the time dilation on himself. Obviously, the heal component is nice, but that's the main thing for mine, is they're looking to get a bit of a freebie, but who's going to get what?
Now with the Supernova, it's going to prove to be a bit of a messy fight, as they'll deal with the egg, but the cost is just far too dear.
I mean, it's once again a nice roll coming through from Mercy, right? Enabling a lot of these kills as Butterfly Effect. Have you hung around a little bit too long? I think you might have.
That he has. Oh, no. I mean, he's got Ponyo nearby to maybe dissuade the Bloodstone. Is still not complete. He needed one more component. Now Ponyo reveals himself, and there's nothing that's going to stop them from chasing him down.
We gotta say, I was saying he needed to be on point with a lot of these rolls, and he has been. You know, just landing roll after roll after roll, and you can afford to like throw them out occasionally if you're playing alongside these heroes like the Phoenix, who's a big damage mitigator, not just with the Fire Spirits, but also with a mischance from the Sunray, and then of course the Darkseer as well. You know, if you're in the middle of things with an Ion Shell on you, you're still dealing damage, even if you didn't land your stun or everything like that, and you've got now the auras to be able to play around with as well, and he's got a Vessel coming out through. We saw Red Panda have the Spirit Vessel last game. Doesn't need to, so he's just going straight into a Scythe of Vice this time around, and I could honestly see him going into like a Shiva's Guard if it gets late enough for that. Pretty good Shiva's game.
I really thought this was going to be a bit more of a slower Roche, but I'm actually quite surprised at how fast they're doing it.
Wonder how much of it is just the fear factor of taking it before the Tusk has the ability to do it. Of course, Tag Team, one of those great abilities that enables you to take Roche a little bit faster than usual.
And I mean, you maybe even wanting to force a fight. I guess the ultimates are on cooldown, so maybe not right now, but you know, we have seen, though, a lot of the 5v5s are continuing to favor Aster.Aries, and I mean, can you see if that's going to change anytime shortly? Because it's not really like iG.V have an offlaner that's able to build this utility like the Darkseer.
No, I mean, the big timing for them is going to be this double BKB coming through from the Razor and the Faceless Void. They're about a recipe or so away on both of them. You've also almost got a Blink Dagger on the Tusk, Grimstroke going into the Aghanim Shot. So you've got a lot of power spikes coming for iG.Vitality in, like, let's say 3 minutes time, back when it's during the daytime, maybe where they're able to make a little bit more of those jumps a bit more effectively with that extra vision that it provides, because that's probably the big strength that they have, just the ability to, like, guaranteed stun someone. You know, the Rolling Boulder is still not a guarantee. Mercy's been on point so far, but Tusk, Blink, Walrus Punch into Snowball, that is guaranteed.
Yes. Well, we're going to have to see that along with some of the potential out of the Faceless Void. A big difference now as well with Butterfly Effect. I mean, level 12, so extra damage with the Pulse Nova. You got that Bloodstone now. See how much extra the Sustain is going to prove to be.
Still has to worry about the Spirit Vessel, of course, but again, you're going to have the Aghanim Shard on Grimstroke, so Ponyo's got to make sure that he's placing that onto Butterfly Effect every time for the strong Dispel component, plus the additional heal that it provides him.
Oh, Mercy. An aggressive roll onto the Faceless Void without the BKB yet completed, but the save from Tusk was just there fast enough to disrupt them. So it gets the Void out. Ukyo will live, but unfortunately Fish King has to put his body on the line for that.
You're very happy with giving up your life for the Faceless Void, though, right? You can't just just delay this BKB timing too much longer.
Ulu? They're pretty active here, but he knows the boys are starting to swing down to bottom as Butterfly Effect's going to try and turn. A decent chunk of damage, but now with the Bloodstone active already used, he's very vulnerable. As Ulu's going to be amped up, surged on forward. Another death onto Butterfly Effect's last track. 4 deaths this game.
I love how they're making the most out of this this Aegis timing, right? They know that they're strong. They know that iG.Vitality are going to hit their timing very shortly. And this is even without a BKB on Ulu. He's got it coming out on the courier right now. And they're looking to take away this area for the tier 2 bottom tower. Maybe yoink away a Tormentor and the Wisdom Rune for themselves as well. Gotta be very careful about popping the Glyph too early on because, I mean, again, they're just going to absolutely run through you with the remaining 2.5 minutes left on this Aegis. Also hit up onto the level 15 as well, so an extra 3 flak cannon attacks too for Ulu.
Just continuing to sweep across the map. Off to the left they go. iG.Vitality grouped up around the ward. See how they're going to be able to take the team fight though. Butterfly Effect's going to lead the charge. We get a glimpse of anyone just yet. They'll surely scout out Mercy and they're probably going to have to leave him.
I mean, they need to back off for a little bit. Just wait for this. They know they've got the vision advantage, and now it's back in daytime. So, again, you've got the Blink Dagger on the Tusk. He's looking to try and make that opening. Still 5 seconds on the Walrus Punch, though.
Ulu, do you really want to force a fight without the Earth Spirit? Make it back into the river. Early BKB out of Zhang Yu. It's a pretty decent chronosphere, but the simultaneous Supernova is going to be enough to be able to keep them alive throughout the duration. Mercy's going to be back in with a roll as well. It's chaos, and it's not going to favor Dire as they can look to clean up. They've stayed alive long enough, but the Magnetize is slowly ripping them apart, and Mercy once again rolls onto the backline, and Ulu can chase down Ponyo. It was a decent start. You drained all the damage out of the Gyro. It was a great chrono, but Mercy's buyback was huge.
It was an alright chrono, but he caught like 3-4 members of his team inside of it as well, so they were just sitting ducks once it expired. You had Red Panda once again off to the sidelines with his Sun Ray, just absolutely tearing them a new one. Look at the damage overall from the fight.
Yeah.
He did the most damage for his team on that Phoenix by far.
Damn, I thought it was the Earth Spirit was doing all the damage, and no, like you said, yeah, Phoenix. I mean, and this is kind of one of the nice things with your counter to the Chronosphere. If you do not get caught, we're gonna see it inside the fight. Like you said, you clip almost every single one of your teammates. They just got burnt to a crisp.
Yep. I'm a big Dragon Ball Z fan. This was Piccolo with a special beam cannon just ripping through 4 different heroes, absolutely ruining them. And well, it basically turned out as well for iG.Vitality as it did for Piccolo's opponents. I'll shoehorn a Weeb reference in any chance I can get. You know me.
I'll nod my head and say, yes, I agree.
Bro, DBZ is entry-level Weeb, all right? I don't want to hear it.
Yes, sir. Go Weebs, go Piccolo! See? Woo, Piccolo! Is that Naruto?
Oh my god. I told you what it was. It's Dragon Ball Z, bro. You'd like it. There's a lot of big buff men in it. You'd like it.
Big buff? Wow, what are you trying to say?
I'm saying you like the shit. A lot of people use Goku as like lifting inspiration.
Yeah. My dude's kind of jacked.
Yeah, you gotta eat big, lift big, and sleep big.
Okay, the three things, the three traits I need.
Yeah.
3 tenants, all right. I'll write them down after this. I'll make sure I don't forget. iG.V. looking for a smoke of the defense of the T2 tower, though. A little bit too late, though. Liddy's a backup. They're separated too. XYW has a remnant to rejoin the team.
You have to catch Red Panda. You have to.
And they're going to try.
They might have done it. Ooh.
Gets the dive away. It's an early use of the Supernova, so not one that's going to have as much value as we saw last fight. This could be the opening now if Ukyo can get a multi-man Chrono. He's going to try and jump in. They do get the BKB out of the Gyrocopter. They want to turn to deal with the Phoenix, but the Darkseer is mitigating all of the damage. It's going to go up to the left track now to enter the fight as Ulu's in danger. They won't have the Gyro. Maybe XWY can turn the tides, but that's not going to be enough. As finally, iG.Vitality, they did get the Phoenix, but they forced out an early Supernova that didn't really turn the tides and give them a whole lot to take that team fight in the end.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you have to use a buyback on the Tusk, but I think you're generally okay with that, right? You take out the highest net worth hero in the game, in the gyrocopter, and you just see how important it is for Red Panda to be in the right position. He's been on point for the majority of this game. Still does a lot of damage, for sure, in these team fights just by existing, basically. And he's nearly even got the Scythe of Vice finished up for himself as well. But he is target #1 for iG.Vitality every single time. And, well, Fish King was able to scout him out, and it enabled that Chronosphere plus the static link onto the gyrocopter to just really take away any hope of Aster.Aries from taking a continuous fight.
Which is going to continue to be the recipe of success for them. I mean, Razor vs Gyro has always been a very annoying matchup for the gyrocopter, so Zhang Yu's able to continue to get that link. If you're able to continue to minimize some of the effectiveness out of Red Panda, which now having the Hex, do you think he needs to consider something like an A on this just to help with his survivability?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no, like, he just doesn't want to be caught, period. Like, as long as you can avoid that, his positioning has been good enough to be able to just have a huge impact in these team fights. He is the most important hero in this game, and he has been for the past 10 minutes.
And we've got a great healing Lotus as well. All right.
Can feed it over to someone else as well. I mean, he's been playing so well, I wouldn't be surprised if he, like, Icarus dived, healed someone else with the healing Lotus, and then, you know, still got out to be able to Sunray him. That's how well he's playing.
Butterfly effect. Here's the Hex reveal. Does have Fish King behind him.
Nice.
Good timing out of the snowball. Stops the roll. They're going to be able to play accordingly. Chrono's still down for another 15 seconds. What is the damage? They go straight to the egg. The snowball sets it up perfectly. Meanwhile, Mercy, long distance roll, clips him on the edge as Ulu rewarded with the double kill, and they can maybe put some pressure onto the tier 3 tower. They got a catapult wave mid.
It's getting a bit tiring, Red Panda. You're just too good. And now he's even tankier, right? Like, he knows that he's the main priority at level 15, gets the plus 500 HP talent. He's got a dragon scale to be able to play around with. He's not right-clicking that much. He's just making sure that he's not dying to this Faceless Void inside of the Chronosphere. All you need is that, like, split second to be able to get off a bunch of abilities, and then you're good.
Do you like this mantle on the Void?
What's he got it for? Get out of the chains, get out of the fire spirits, get out of the silence from the Earth Spirit, I guess? I don't know. I mean, he's got the BKB already to be able to dodge out a lot of that. I feel like they just don't want to run out of juice, basically, at the end of a lot of these engagements, right?
Yeah.
Love the use of the new smoke, by the way. Smoke on 4. You were revealing in the lane, of course, on the Razor. Then he just backs off and joins the rest of the boys. Got a Yule Scepter coming through for Mercy as well. Nice way to be able to remove that Inkswell.
This is pretty important that iG.V actually going to control the area first. They need to drop wards so before the smoke pops. They're going to be a little bit too late to do that. They will see Ulu inside the lane, but an early jump onto the Grimstroke for they get a pick off and get the numbers advantage, but still Ulu's in some danger with a Chrono from Ukyo, clipping onto 2, but once again with the BKB, is it going to be enough to keep Ulu alive? Satanic. It doesn't look like it is, but it'll turn. Satanic in life still after Fallen. Where did they all just go? 5 here. What?
They got out of these Qualifiers. That's where they went. Oh, just the healing coming through. He had everything on him, right? He had the Pipe of Insight, he had the Lotus Orb, he had the Crimson Guard, and he had a Sunray.